My Mount Rushmore of culinary influences would definitely include Chef Choi, an absolute pioneer of fusion food. He brought authentic Korean flavors to the streets of LA in the form of tacos and burritos. So today, we're paying homage to this living legend by making my version of Korean spicy pork tacos. These tacos are made with an authentic Korean spicy pork, served on top of corn tortillas with all the standard street taco fixings, and each little taco is packed with flavor. And honestly, I could probably eat a dozen of these in a single sitting. So do me a favor and make sure you like, comment, share, and save this video. Alright y'all, remember to wash your hands. Now the first thing we'll do is cut up our pork. And today I'm using a big hunk of pork butt. And to make the pork easier to cut, I threw it in the freezer for a couple of hours beforehand, as this will help firm up the fat, making it easier to cut. And we'll only need about 2 pounds of pork butt, and we'll thinly slice it against the grain into thin pieces. And when that's all cut up, we'll set that aside briefly, and then we'll get our onions cut up to go in our marinade. First I have a yellow onion, and we'll cut that along the grain into strips. Then I have some green onions, and we'll cut these into about 2-inch sections. And when that's all cut up, we'll get our pork into a big mixing bowl along with our onions and green onions. To that, we'll add in a tablespoon of minced garlic. Then I have a piece of ginger, and we'll grate about half a tablespoon into the marinade. Now the base of our marinade is a 1/4 cup of gochujang, and if you've never had this before, it's a fermented chili paste that has a deep flavor that's honestly unlike anything else. To that, we'll add in a tablespoon of coarse gochugaru, and if you like yours spicier, feel free to add more of this. And then to finish our marinade, we'll add in a tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of mirin, 1 tablespoon of your choice of sweetener, and I'm just using honey, and 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. We're gonna give that a good mix, making sure that all the ingredients are evenly distributed, and then we'll let this vibe out in the fridge for at least an hour, but for the best results, overnight is better. Now, it's the next day, and you're just gonna have to trust me when I say that it is. And before we cook our spicy pork, we'll quickly prep our taco fixings, starting off with an onion, and we'll just dice that up and then get that into a mixing bowl. And if you like this recipe and you want to learn how to make more of your favorite Asian dishes, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay up to date on all my latest posts. Then I have some cilantro that we'll finally chop up. We're gonna add the cilantro to our onions and give that a nice little toss. Now, if you don't like cilantro and you don't have the gene to break it down and it tastes like soap, feel free to leave it out. Then finally, I have some limes that we'll cut up into wedges. And with that done, let's cook our spicy pork. To a big pan on medium-high heat, we'll add in a splash of oil, and we'll add in an even layer of our pork, making sure to not overcrowd the pan. Let the pork sit for a minute or two without moving it to allow the pork to slightly caramelize. Then continue to cook the pork for about 5 to 6 minutes or until the pork is cooked all the way through. Then we'll let the spicy pork cool slightly and we'll move that to a cutting board. Give that a rough chop, and then it's time to assemble these tacos. Now today I'm using some corn tortillas and we'll just reheat them on a dry pan. And if you have an open flame, go ahead and toast them right on top of that for a little bit of charring. We'll get our tortillas on a plate and then we'll add a good amount of our spicy pork right on top. We're gonna garnish this with some of our onions and cilantro and a little bit of sesame seeds. Serve this up with a lime wedge, and just like that, you've made some incredible Korean spicy pork tacos inspired by the great Chef Choi at home. As always, the recipe and measurements are on my blog at feedthepudge.com. And if you've made it this far, let me know in the comments section who's in your Mount Rushmore of culinary food influences. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.